Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
We're back for yet another BumbleKast. They keep happening, Ian. I think this is like the 300th of these Q&A shows we've done. It might be
episodes with questions from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
I think so. I think this is maybe around 300. This is
great.
Yeah. Just the Q&A that we've done since we switched over. That's not counting minis. That's not counting the any of the other pre-Q&A only episodes we've done. That's just the Q&A. Geez. So yeah, we are here, Ian. We have done many episodes. So you'd think we'd be like a well-oiled machine and we'd be like super professional at this by now, but nope. Nope, not in the slightest. Let's get started with this question here from Andrew D. Sega has decided to take the mantra of everything is canon seriously and has tasked you with making everything, including all spin-offs, canon to the games. How do you go about doing so without tossing out what we have and starting over? How does Classic Sonic exist alongside Adventures of, Sonic SatAM, Sonic Underground, and the various manga with Nikki without treating them as alternate universes? How does modern Sonic exist alongside Sonic X and Sonic Boom without treating them as alternate universes? I guess it would be kind of harsh to see Eggman go through so many sidekicks, but I'm assuming that after his Mobotropolis takeover, he would have had some less than serious plots in Adventures of before cracking down and getting serious with SatAM and Underground. And with how tall everyone is in Sonic Boom, I'm guessing that would be an end of the timeline scenario where Eggman has sort of given up and also slimmed down a bit. Or do you have any other ideas?
It's not possible.
No, I mean, not directly. You can adapt all those elements, but I don't think you could like just make them all fit.
No, and to make them faithful to their origins and to keep what made each incarnation fun and memorable for the fan bases, you can't. You cannot melt that down, especially if you throw out the alternate reality angle.
Yeah.
Like, if there's anything that Shatterspace is great for, it's to say all of those exist in some fashion somewhere out there. All Sonics are canon in their own way, in their own little crystallized universes. Let's not worry about it further than that. I like that answer because all Sonics are valid, and if you like it, it exists somewhere, and there you go. You don't have to fight over it. You don't have to draw comparisons to say which one is superior, which one's more legit. They're all legit.
I think people
what you like is fine.
I think people are concerned that the ending of Prime shows that the Shatterverse is gone.
That was my interpretation. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, I think it's a perfectly good way to explain away all the different Sonics and make them all valid on a baseline. So
maybe it just seems like they're gone, but we could get a follow-up and who knows? Who knows?
I mean, not to spoil it, but the whole intention seemed to be to have your cake and eat it too, to preserve them and restore the Prime universe. So
yeah.
I would assume they're still out there somewhere. It's just as far as the events of the main storyline go, Sonic had a minor sidetrack and then Eggman was foiled. So it's fine.
As he does. That's what happens to him.
And that way Prime is the same as all the other cartoons. It's equally valid. It exists alongside the others. And if you like it, great.
Yep. Something like that. We'll go with that. All right. Here's one from Ava Arctics. What was the process like during the reboot's creation and design? Was there a big meeting to discuss attempts to salvage the pre-reboot story, characters, etc.? Were there ideas on maybe tweaking pre-reboot pieces to be distinct enough? Like with Nigel Acorn? Or was it just the perfect storm to bring the idea of reboot that an editor pitched years before and clean the slate? Just curious about the behind-the-scenes process.
From what I remember, and this has been years, I remember spending just hours on the phone with then editor Paul Kaminsky going over what we had access to, what we didn't have access to, what we could toe the line with, what we had to be absolutely clear cut with, how to even structure the new Archie universe, because we didn't want to go wholesale Sega Sonic because that would alienate the folks who had been with the book for so long. But a lot of what came within that crazy Archie period was untouchable. So how do you find that middle ground? There would be folks coming in brand new thinking, oh, it's a new start. Maybe I'll give the book a chance. You need something that's accessible. And that's why we were approaching a more game angle, because that has the larger audience. But again, we didn't want to throw everything away so that the long-term fans were like, this isn't the book I read. I don't have any interest anymore. So it was a whole lot of trying to find a way to please as many people as possible. Like, we knew going in, people were going to be upset and that some folks just wouldn't accept the new direction. And that's fair. That's just how it went. But we did try to find a middle ground that would at least feel thematically like what had come before, but be accessible to new folks coming in from, nowhere, or who just knew the games, or lapsed fans who were coming back, and trying to figure out how best to integrate that, how to make it clear, this is the SatAM cast in a Sega Sonic style. It is a game universe, but it's still Archie style. What is the familiar territory? How do we convey that very early on? So there were a lot of drafts. There were a lot of going back and forth. Just the talk about how to update the Freedom Fighter designs themselves got heated on occasion. So I think it was Ryan Jample who was working on some of the designs, and he said that he eventually just kind of backed out of the email chain because he didn't want to get in the middle of that dog fight.
Oh, no.
I had opinions. Paul had opinions.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
And I think what we ended up with was solid. So,
yes.
Yay, we all win. But
you did.
It was it was a very difficult creative process because of how many different odds and ends and considerations to be had. And looking back on it, it's not like one of those things where I could say, oh, I'd totally do it different if we went back, because I understand how we got there. And I don't know if there necessarily would be a distinctly better way to do it. Different ways, to be sure. But I don't know if there's any way to actually do it definitively better.
Yeah.
Now, what I think Ava's also referencing the question is, when I first came onto the book, then editor Mike Pellerito was talking about doing just a full reboot, new creative team, new direction for the series. And that had me panicking,
Yeah.
That at my feet, Mike. I pushed for us to, just pick up where we left off and, use the material that we have. So there was no earlier reboot ideas then. There was never a moment of, hey, let's just start over. Here's what I would have done. That was never really a true consideration. And even with Genesis, there was a little bit of talk of doing a spin off, but that was roughly it wasn't, I don't think we took anything from that for post boot, but maybe just the higher concept of something that was more game centric.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this one from Chaos Sonic 1. Now that Sonic Prime is over, I have to ask, what if instead of Sonic shattering the prism, Amy, Rouge, Tails, and Knuckles shattered it? How would things go?
Presumably they would be the ones able to jump through shatter spaces, and we would see a bunch of different Sonics and not a bunch of thems.
Maybe. If it were each one, it would just replace their alternate incarnations with them, and Sonic would be the fill-in, I suppose.
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Dawson the Dachshund. On at least 2 separate Bumble occasions, you've suggested Surge would make Kit wear a goofy outfit, such as a chef's hat and a sailor suit. That begs the question, does Surge just like playing dress-up with Kit? Is he her little doll? That's both cute and creepy.
I don't think she makes a habit of it. I don't think it's a hobby, but when inspiration strikes.
Sure. I think maybe Kit is actually into dressing up. Maybe he's a cosplayer. Maybe he enjoys cosplay. That's the secret.
Yeah, Surge would get wise to it eventually.
I've seen.
Why am I dressing up a trash bag? No, you're just getting in the trash. It's where you belong.
Aww. Oh, poor boy.
Can I come out now? When you learned your lesson. Have I learned my lesson? I'll tell you when you have.
No.
A week later, Kit, where are you? In the trash. Get out here.
A week? Wow. How do you manage to breathe in a bag for a week?
He controls water. He can separate it into oxygen and hydrogen, I'm sure.
Impressive. Jeez. Dark. Here's one from Domino. Is there more to Vanilla? She was getting off some Makima vibes in issue 66. It makes you wonder if she's more than just an innocent stay-at-home mother.
Officially, no. As of right now.
Officially.
You never know what the future may bring.
But
that's not a hashtag knowing smile. That's just me leaving the door open.
But
I don't foresee it being anything.
But what's in Ian's headcanon? Who knows? Who knows? E200 Paragon has a question. A long time ago, you stated on a prehistoric scripture called a forum that Sega may have wanted to have the Archie Time Eater be the fragmentary remains of Solaris, specifically Mephiles, after his erasure in Sonic 06. Morio Kishimoto recently stated that he wanted to bring back Mephiles and also Infinite for the games, which would require a lot of careful planning to avoid causing any more time travel nonsense. Thus, for the sake of updating the Sonic Wiki Zone, my question is this. Was there any intended connections by you or Sega between Solaris and the Time Eater in either Archie or Sonic generations, or was it simply just a headcanon you invented?
Yeah, that bit of forum stuff, that's pure headcanon on my part. I feel like you can connect the dots, but that's not like actual canon.
Yeah. All right. Here's one from Energy. With the new LEGO Sonic sets being released and Sonic LEGO skins being brought to Sonic Superstars, do you think there's a big chance we may get a full official LEGO Sonic game besides him being in LEGO Dimensions? I, for one, think it would be cool and think the LEGO gameplay formula would work really well, especially with the Foundation Sonic Frontiers setup.
It'd be neat, sure. But that's like entirely between Sega and LEGO. Does LEGO have like a game division?
Yeah.
I
mean,
yeah,
they would have to, Ian, at this point. I mean, look at how many LEGO games there are.
Yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, it would be between the two of them. But
yeah. And I mean,
I'd be fine with it.
Traveler's Tales, it's not like they don't have a history with Sonic. So that could actually be interesting. Wow. It would be like a Sonic 3D Blast throwback and the Sonic R throwback. Huh. Yeah.
There's your monkey's paw. I want Sonic R2. It's Lego.
It's Lego Sonic R2. Oh no. I mean,
Which means it would function just fine. I'm sure it'd be fun.
I'll take it.
It's not what I want.
Everybody super Lego racing.
All those little Lego legs. Click, 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 click.
Click, 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 click. All right. Speaking of Lego, here's a question from Fang. In the December 5th of BumbleKast Mini, you guys talked about your strangest dreams, which reminds me of Lego's new theme/TV show, Lego Dreams. The show is about a group of kids joining a secret agency where they learn to use the power of imagination to journey into the dream world and create fantastic creations in order to help sleeping children being terrorized by the evil Nightmare King, played by Brian Drummond, who is bent on conquering the dream world and invading the waking world. Based on this descriptions, if you were a dream crafter, what weapons or vehicles would you make to help protect the dream world for the Nightmare King?
The Nightmare King's not going to know what hit him because I don't know what I'm building.
No. Yeah.
Like when I was messing around with Legos, it was a hodgepodge of things. A house on wheels, a piece of avant-garde art on wheels. Is that a ray gun or is that just something sticking out of the side? You don't know. He don't know. And we'll find out once I crash into him.
Sounds good. I'm down. I like it. I mean, I think just building a big old death ray would be the most useful thing you could do, but put it on wheels. That's what you need.
Now, like my best buddy growing up, he had like the early, what was it, like NASA set with the actual functioning train. It was like the first one to actually have an electrical current you could put into the thing.
Yeah,
like he knew how to build Lego. He'll build your death ray. He'll have like the fully functioning mech. He's the real true tour de force.
Yeah.
Me, I just come in with my, rainbow kaleidoscope nightmare, blaze the horn that plays everything is awesome and just run over the guy.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Here's one from Icon PNG. Sonic has said in the past that he doesn't mind playing the bad guy every once in a while. I was wondering if you'd like to take Sonic in that direction sometime, or if you've pitched the idea before.
I feel like you have to do it in the right way, because Sonic's not going to just be outright villainous. Like in the case of Black Knight, he is the bad guy because he's going up against the king, the established rule of law in that land. By that same token, he's the bad guy when he's fighting Gunn at the start of SA2. He's a fugitive from the law. That makes him technically a bad guy, but he's never going to be villainous.
He's a bad guy when he fights Eggman because, he's foiling Eggman's plans. He's a bad guy for Eggman.
Like, he lives by his own personal code of justice, and if he feels like something is unjust, he will fight it, whether he is legally in the right or not. That's all that means. So if you're going to go that route, I think you need to make it clear that he is still doing what is morally right, or at least justifiable from his point of view. To make him just go full on rogue for giggles, that's just not who he is.
Yeah, no, I think that makes more sense. It's like I think people take that line out of context a lot. So, all right, here's a question from JCR1216. How would you craft Kyle's traumatic backstory, because of course, characterization and story arc in IDW Sonic after Sega blast him into that world with maintaining self-awareness, and who becomes his primary rival?
Your life is in my hands now, Kyle.
Oh no. Why me?
All right, so your tragic backstory is, after so many years of toiling in the internet mines, KNGI finally gets not just national, but global recognition. You achieve everything you've wanted to with your radio show. You've been able to cast off the chains of BumbleKast and stand on your own 2 feet, and I'm begging for you to come back. Please. And you're like, no, I have actual work to do. I'm like, that's cool. That's fair. I understand. And then through Sega's mandate ray, which when it's fired, it just sounds like an evil laugh, you get flung into Station Square as a Sonic Worldian, fully aware that you have lost all that you have achieved in the real world. And now you're stuck in a game that has one PC remaster and just has never been revisited again. And
yeah, but the music's good.
Bruins if you want. But yeah, it's a cool track to walk around to. But this is your world now.
Cool.
Just waiting for somebody to boot up Sonic Adventure again, and then you can kind of wave to Sonic as he runs by. Your new life is an NPC.
Some would argue I already am.
But about mom.
Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. Who's my rival?
Oh, right.
The burger statue.
You boot up a copy of SA2. Why are there 2 burger statues?
The Burger Man statue.
Exact same pose, just on the other side of the door. You refuse to move. You will out Burger Statue Man, the Burger Statue Man.
That's right. That's right.
Give him the side eye. He's not even blinking. This guy's game is good.
Wow. That was a pretty loud laugh. Very nice. I'll take it. Here's one from John. Introducing Ian's reverse isekai adventures. Now don't freak out, Ian, but your place is actually connected to every Sonic universe for reasons, and occasionally someone might drop by unexpectedly. The first visitor is none other than Dr. Starline, finally visiting our world on his isekai adventures. Face to face with his creator, the one who drops some boulders on him, and the one who encourages his fans to continue putting him through all of his various adventures. What sorts of things happen before Starline is whisked away on another isekai adventure? Boy, this is like multi-levels deep of isekai.
Now, to be fair, I don't encourage the isekai adventure.
No,
you guys just keep asking.
They just keep.
And I'm obligated to answer.
They just keep happening.
Now, I think if things work out right, we might be able to speak cordially about the metaphysical and metacontextual way that we both exist in relationship to each other. And he would find that rather fascinating in a way, trying to map out his own personal adventures and whatnot. And maybe he can find a way to turn this in his favor, because that's just how he is. But, ultimately, vile inevitable betrayal. I live on the 16th floor with a balcony. One thing leads to another, and the Isekai adventures continue.
Over the railing. Ah, yes, railing death. Once again. Here's a question from Morless. In the past, you've implied that Blaze still has Iblis contained inside her. She just doesn't remember it because of time shenanigans. That got me thinking, does that mean that Blaze is potentially the most powerful non-super beings or actual god in the Sonic universe? Imagine if we could learn how to harness all that dank energy. Just how powerful would Blaze be? And could she unleash both the Iblis energy and utilize the Soul Emerald's power at the same time to gain a sort of hyper state?
Maybe. You're getting real close to fan idea right there.
It is a little bit, but they said dank energy, so I had to go with it.
I don't know, ultimately. Like, she says she can control flames and she contains Iblis, so as long as it's like within her, then she's already controlling flames, so maybe it's a moot point.
I think the thing is that Blaze is just the best, and we should all learn to accept it, because I mean she is.
We may not even get to revisit it, because the whole thing was that, Iblis is unleashed when one gives into despair, and Blaze has already got her emotions pretty much on lockdown in a healthy way. Like, she's just a cool customer. So Iblis is like, "Don't you want to be sad?" And she's like, "No, not really." And he's like, "No."
That's my favorite Iblis. I'm surprised. I figured Blaze would be one of those characters who could use some therapy, but no, I guess not, huh?
She already had her therapy in the first game. She's like, "I can't get close to people." And Cream's like, "But try though." And she's like, "Okay." And boom, there you go. That's exactly how Sonic Rush went.
I guess so.
I'm being 100% legitimate. You can quote me on this later. Update the wikis. That's how the synopsis of the game goes.
That's it. That's the whole game. That's all you need, is that one sentence on the whole page. Just delete the rest of the article. You don't need it.
This has been a test of the emergency sarcasm system. Had this been an actual sarcasm event, you should be able to tell by now.
Whisper still needs some therapy, though.
Oh, God, yeah.
Poor girl.
She needs 2 creams.
Here's a question from Mixer17. Boom Eggman and Boom versions of Jules, Bernie, and Uncle Chuck have become genuine friends. They're perfectly aware of who the others are, and Eggman doesn't have any sort of hidden plan in mind for his benefit, for some reason. They just genuinely find each other to be pleasant company. Up to you if Boom Jules is still a Robo-Mobian from injuries or not. How does Boom Sonic handle having his family being genuine friends with Eggman, especially if, and hopefully when, Bernie starts telling Eggman all the embarrassing baby and childhood stories Sonic thought he had thoroughly hidden? And what ones, if any, do you think they'd be?
Oh, they absolutely are just like the weekend cards club. Sonic, Eggman's kidnapped your family. Now they're just playing canasta. Like, sure, Boom Eggman's still a little weird, but they like him. He's their eclectic friend. He always knows how to liven up a party.
Yeah. And
I imagine Jules is still a Roby, and they just never address it.
Yeah, he's just a robot.
Like,
he's still always a robot.
It's the noodle incident. It's like, and your dad's a robot? Because, long story. And that's all they ever say about it.
Don't worry about it.
And they're always like ragging on Sonic. You should just give him a chance. He's not all bad. He invades the town. He livens it up. You guys are boring over there. Live a little. He made evil cookies, and they were so good. Oh, my goodness. Your father actually looks rather dashing with a mustache.
Oh, boy.
Charles actually stopped teasing him for not being able to grow one for so long. That's because he's a robot. Yeah, why is that? Long story.
Oh, just as long as Eggman doesn't fly over there and start screaming, "Maurice, where are you?" Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog, come out, wherever you are.
Just through the tightest gritted teeth. That's not my name. Oh, so sorry, Marcy. Would you prefer Ogilvy?
Oh, no. Cursed. The show is cursed, Ian. We've cursed this.
I particularly like the fact that he's just wholesome buddies with
I did.
with the parents.
I mean,
he's just chill with them.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. I think it would be hilarious. It's totally.
Jules is like, I've heard you had some problems with my boy. We don't quite get along, but I don't want to be sour in front of you guys. Who wants to play canasta?
Our boom episodes. Noni has a question. Hey, if you had to pick someone else to be the lone survivor of the original Diamond Cutters instead of Whisper, besides Mimic, of course, who would you pick? Who do you want to put through trauma, Ian?
I don't know. That was never a consideration. Like, the rest of the Diamond Cutters don't really have a ton to them. They were there to be identifiable and then dead.
The chat is voting Claire.
I mean, Claire had a little bit of a connection to Mimic. She seemed to be kind of into him, so you would have that angle of jilted lover plus you killed all my friends, but that's just like Whisper with extra steps.
Well, I mean, if you killed one of them off that was Whisper instead of Claire, it's Whisper with more trauma. Wow, that's amazing. How could you...
New Whisper 2.0 with more trauma.
How? It's only so much.
I mean, I can't do Slinger because it would be nothing but Revolver Ocelot jokes day in, day out. I wouldn't be able to help myself. It's really just better for all of us that he's gone.
Maybe. Might have been better.
And Smithy would be redundant to Tails, quite honestly. He's just like, he's Tails but heavy weapons guy, which is tempting, but nah, Whisper had all the thought and love put into her construction. The others are there for her tragic backstory. We're fine.
Oh, tragic backstory. All right, here's one from OK Cheese Stick. Given that Archie Sonic's main musical instrument of choice is a guitar, what would Scourge play? Upside down guitar, reverse guitar, where you strum the solid wood and hold it by the strings? Perhaps an actual instrument? Wait a minute, are you saying the guitar is not an actual instrument, OK Cheese Stick? What do you say? Anyway, what was that? Sorry, I talked over you.
Double neck guitar.
Oh, well,
something
yeah.
Very pointy. Something that shoots. Okay. What was it? Mad Max Fury Road.
Fury Road.
The dude with the guitar that shoots fire out of it as he's just rocking.
Yeah.
That's his guitar.
I mean, that is the guitar as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there you go. Like, he gets to use the hot licks pun once. And even though he knows that's towing the line, that kind of devalues it. But he's going to use it once while shooting fire at Sonic. And then he'll never go back to that joke again. He knows he's used it enough. It's fine.
Oh, only once. Pfft, sure. Anyway.
Think of it as an homage to the old jokey days of evil Sonic. You know, that it shows his roots.
I'm going to rock you like a hurricane. That doesn't even make sense for fire.
Why you got to be so high strung?
Yes.
Come here, Sonic. I got an axe to grind.
I think that's enough. We gotta go. We gotta listen to some hot licks of our own and take a quick break. We'll come back with some more BumbleKast.
We're back, and we're starting off with our weekly giveaway of a priority question. If you follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, Instagram, or Facebook, every so often you will get your chance to have a free priority Q&A.
That's right. This one comes to us from Blue Sky. This is from Lorenzo H. Assuming the Coco could get near the artificial chaos Gerald Robotnik made safely, do you think they would be able to use them to live through stored memories of the ancients more accurately? Or are the artificial chaos just too different to be used in such a way?
I don't know. Like, my guess about the artificial chaoses was that all of the tech revolved around the helmet. Like, the minute the helmet is destroyed, they dissipate. So, like, I don't think the water itself has any special properties. But then if you plug a Coco, like, into the helmet itself, or, like, if they were like the ancients and went into the water, could it use the water as a way to interface into the helmet? Huh. That's a fascinating idea. I don't know. I can't give you, like, an official answer of any kind, but that does get the old gears a turning. What would happen? Could anything happen? Should anything happen?
Well, while you figure that out, we're going to move on to some other questions. Here's one from Picklypack. 2 characters who originate from the Shogakukan manga, Amy and Charmy, have become mainstay characters. Alongside this, Anton Veruca and Omelette, Miss Wing, and Monica have made small cameos in the Sonic Learns to Drive story of the Sonic 30th Anniversary special comic. Would there be any chance for any more characters who originate from the manga to turning into mainstay characters?
Into mainstays? Not unless it comes from, like, Sega itself. And I doubt it. But, I mean, we did get Mighty and Ray and Fang. So, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just be safe there before I put my foot in my mouth again.
It's hard to say. Sega doesn't seem to be too interested in bringing back any other elements of the manga, so.
And, with background cameos, don't put a lot of stock into that. Those are like Easter eggs. They aren't necessarily validation of something's existence in the greater lore.
Not necessarily.
I mean, this goes as far back as the old Sonic number 50 in the Archie run when Bean was part of the Great War. Fighting alongside Astal. That doesn't mean Astal is part of the Sonic universe and fought alongside Sonic's father. It's just sometimes the cameo is just a cameo.
Ian, bring back Astal. Let Astal be in Sonic. Bring him back. Rockamillion has a question. Something I really like to do is imagine Sonic characters playing characters in other shows or movies. I wanted to share who I thought which Sonic characters would play which characters from the Spider-Verse movies. I really hope at least one of you have seen these movies. I know I have. I see Tails as Miles Morales, Rotor as Miles' dad Jefferson Davis, Nicole as Miles' mother Rio, Antoine as Miles' uncle Aaron / Prowler, Boom Sonic as Peter B. Parker, Mina Mongoose as Spider-Gwen, Cream as Penny Parker, Classic Sonic as Peter Porker, Vector as Spider-Noir, Amy as MJ, Mammoth Mogul as Kingpin, Shadow as Miguel O'Hara, SBO as Spider-Punk, Silver as Peviter Prabhakar, Rouge as Jessica Drew, and Infinite as The Spot. Any thoughts? Honestly, Infinite as The Spot is pretty good.
Especially at the start. That's just extra funny.
Yeah.
I am not going to pass judgment on anybody's headcanons and mishmashes. If that's what makes you happy, more power to you.
I mean, I like these. I think these are some pretty decent castings overall. Here's one from Sam Cybercat. Who would win in a fight, Tails 9 from Sonic Prime or Jeff Axer's 9-inch Tails? Whoever wins, we lose. Or win, I don't know.
That, I think we're just going to have to wait and see, because 9-inch Tails has withstood the test of time. He endures. Tails 9 is very new. We need to see if he can last nearly as long.
9-inch Tails is having a bit of a resurgence lately. It's kind of surprising. Yeah. Keeps coming back.
It's solidly drawn. It's aged very well.
I mean, he did it. He made something that really captured the hearts of the people.
It's a product of its time, but it really encapsulates it.
But it's a good product. I mean,
yeah,
it works. I think that works. Here's a question from Scourge Time. Skonic would look pretty cool. What about a Super Skonic?
Kyle, help. I'm missing the reference.
What is Skonic? I don't know.
No, Google fails me. I don't know what a skonic is.
Who is skonic? Skonic. Help
it
me.
finally happened. Am I out of touch with the fandom?
No, SCONIC. This is what I'm being told. This is what's listed. It's what it says. It's skonic. Oh, the Surge Sonic's fusion. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Forgot about that. I mean, I should have guessed. This is a question from Scourge time. They're always asking about Scourge. It's like, well, all right. I've just complete mind blank on that one. Anyway,
did we settle on Skonic?
I think
we could come up with a better name.
I don't know. I don't know if we came up with any name. Is that what you said? Skonic? Would it be Sonerge?
No, see, the two names don't really combine well.
They don't, no.
So you have to take like individual phonemes from it, and then they become Scorn.
I mean, I suppose.
Because that sounds just stupid and edgy enough to work.
Sonic
plus Scourge makes Scorn.
I guess.
And then he will look down on you with super scorn.
Even Shadow's like, calm down, dude. You're taking this too far. I'm also being asked, is this a fusion or a ship? I think the answer is yes.
You know what? What are fusions if just not ships given physical form?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So, yeah. All right. So, see, it's been so long since we touched on this. Got to revisit it. So, Scorn being the fusion of the two. I'm guessing we're going to go with like one base color and just highlights from the other, since their body is basically the same.
I suppose.
Like maybe the jacket in Sonic's shoe color? I don't know. That base black is neutral enough. It works really well, though. Maybe the flames turn blue. Instead of red flames on the jacket, it's blue flames.
Or purple. Something like that.
Maybe. So, here's the thing, though. Okay, Super Scorn. Like, Sonic is gold. Scourge is, like,
purple.
Black obsidian, kind of. He's purple, I know. Jewel-like purple. So, how do you fuse that? What does that look like? Because you can't just have, like, purple Scorn with gold aura, or vice versa. That's boring. That's too easy.
Bright neon pink.
Ooh. Ooh. Bring a whole new term for violently pink.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not pink, it's light as red.
Yeah, they got a word for that. You know what it is? Pink.
It was like fuchsia. Just insanely
split the difference. He just goes like flaming red. Just like
fine.
Blood red, like hardcore edgy fan character red. I mean, he's named Scorn for pity's sake.
Schedule Scorn the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Why show restraint?
Might as well.
There you go. Like blood red, but with like purple and gold streaks here and there as a fusion of the two other supers.
I'm being told if
he's hideous.
I'm being told if his name is Scorn, he's pink.
All right. Whatever you want.
I mean, who are we to argue, Ian? What kind of authority do you think you are? I'm being told Scorn is a cool name, though. And you know what? I agree. It is pretty cool.
It's working a lot better than I want to admit.
It's very, very over the top edgy. Like I think even Shadows definitely look at him like you need to calm down. You're going way too hard. It's too much, but at the same time, I kind of like it. Great, you've brought out the worst in each other. That's what Shadow says. Oh, man. All right, next question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. This time, Dr. Eggman takes a trip to the casino night zone. When he wakes up the next day, he has no memories of what he did, but soon discovers he had used some genetic experiments to make a clone of himself. but one that combines his DNA with the DNA of Starline. How does he react? And how does Starline react to the fact that he's now a mommy?
So wait a minute.
He cloned a combined version
an
of
Eggman clone, but with like this guy with a bad fashion sense and kind of silvery color. My goodness, we figured out where Eggman Nega comes from for real.
Oh no.
And then Starline is just overjoyed because he's finally cemented as part of Eggman's legacy.
Well, I guess so.
He is part of the future, quite literally.
Ian.
And that way, like second daddy, like son. They follow the same trend. They're both dead. It works. It's like poetry.
Ian, please.
It rhymes.
Ian, please. Why are we here? Why? I can't. Oh no. They're gonna.
Of course, now I'm imagining like Eggman and Starline doing Night of the Roxburies. That's really funny.
They're gonna show up on Maury. You are the father.
Eggman's like, this can't be happening. And Starline's like, da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Jackpot.
Oh no. We need to move on. We need this can't keep happening. We need to stop. BumbleKast needs to stop. We've gone too far. All right, fine. I guess we'll finish off these questions at least. Stardust Spectre has a question. So, having just read the first issue of the Fang miniseries focusing on a supposed 8th Chaos Emerald, what's the deal with the 8th Chaos Emerald in Sonic the Fighters? Is it just a fake of some kind? Who had the false emerald?
I don't know. It's more me just kind of lovingly poking fun at how free the early continuity was.
Free. Falling free in the wind. In the wind. Steph Cube has a question. A while ago, I asked you a question about whether the interpretation of Sonic and the others in the Sonic X anime is the closest to what Sonic Team from Japan and the Japanese writers have of the characters. And you told me that would be true at the time in which the anime was made, but the truth is that since Sonic X, all the other animated series we've seen have been American with American writers. Not to mention the Japanese writers were also changed by Americans in the game, starting with Sonic Colors. So we really have no way of knowing if the Japanese have really changed their view of these characters since Sonic X was on the air. Now that Sonic Prime is over, wouldn't you like a new Sonic anime made entirely in Japan? This way, we would know what vision they have of Sonic and the others. Plus, it would be super cool to see them animated in 2D again by some Japanese studio.
I would like to see a new Sonic anime. Sure. Let's leave it at that.
I think it would be nice to see a show that just follows like along the same continuity lines as the games and doesn't try to be like have a gimmick beyond being Sonic. But we've talked about that before. So
something that has a budget beyond the first episode, please.
Yeah. And I mean, the Japanese side does have to approve of everything being done anyway. So I don't know, man. Some Blister 16 has a question. Sonic starts a travel vlog on his world's version of YouTube, which I think would be called TalesTube. How successful is this content, and or how long does the channel last before Sonic burns himself out or just stops caring?
It's probably a very nice sentiment, but he's recording while on the run, so all you really see is kind of like stable cam his face and nothing really else.
And it's so loud as the whooshing wind noise in the microphone that you can't hear anything he's saying.
Hey guys, we're going right now. Yep, beautiful over here.
Yeah.
And if we look from up here, you can see the entire city. Pretty cool, Harlan. All right, now go back. Yep. Shadow over the field. Well, really? Hit 500K. And
yep. It would just be.
And then once YouTube's done buffering it, it's just a smear.
Pretty much. He's moving faster than the camera's microphone could pick up. Yeah, I guess that would be what would happen.
Gets his golden certificate within a week. monetized within the first hour. All the clicks, all the views.
Yeah. Yep. First person Sonic. It's terrifying. Agony.
What happened to your travel vlog, Sonic? You had like 3 episodes and then it stopped. Yeah, drop the camera somewhere.
Doesn't know where it is. Tails would have to come up with some sort of rig that keeps it on him, or makes it so small that can't lose it.
Tries to just like do it as like a head cam or a body cam, but the minute he goes into a Sonic spin, it's over. It's garbage.
Just turns to mush. All right. Here's a question from the Phantomist. It's the Multiverse of Video Game Character Olympics. Video game characters from all over the medium have gathered to compete, and Sonic has entered into the annual race. He's spent the past couple months training, and he's ready to go. It's a long and tough one, but Sonic finishes in second place. In a shocking turn of events, Peppino Spaghetti from Pizza Tower finishes in first place. He wasn't even trying to win. He was just there to advertise his failing restaurant. How does Sonic and the rest of the cast react to this shocking outcome? And who bugs Peppino about it so much that he loses his temper?
I think Sonic would be shocked, but he is gracious in loss, mostly.
This is definitely not Sad AM or early Archie Sonic anymore.
No. He will want to look at that replay tape, because how does that quite work out? I mean, the guy's fast, sure, but come on. It takes a minute to get up to speed. Sonic can boost right from the get-go, but yeah, fair's fair. If he won, he won. Cool, looking forward to racing him again in the future, because he always loves a challenge. And hey, maybe you can convince the guy to come up with the chili dog pizza. You know what? Why not?
I need to inspect those legs.
But who would bug him about it? Because everyone else, at least within Sonic's immediate circle, would follow Sonic's lead and be gracious about it. They're not going to cause a fluff over it.
Who's going to bug him? I mean, Eggman would.
Yeah, all right. It's like, how did you manage that? I've made a career out of trying to run from this guy. How did you do it? And if anyone needs to get a Peppino pummeling, it's Eggman.
And also Metal Sonic would be like, should I be the one true Sonic? This guy's kind of a loser. Maybe I will become the one true Peppino.
Metal Sonic shifts his priorities and becomes the one true Peppino.
Yes, that's what I said. Maybe you should be the one true Peppino.
Now go, my hyper metal Peppino. Slowly sinking into the boiling pasta sauce. There can only be one Peppino.
Oh no. Metal Sonic pizza time.
It's still not the weirdest thing Peppino has seen, so.
No, it's not. Here's a question from the One True Blue. I've been thinking lately about what other ways a character could leave a story other than dying. Like, what if a side character just parts ways with the cast or finds a way to evade any main conflicts? Killing a character off is just one of many ways to send a similar message. What do you think the best ways write a character out and how? I want to say, hold on. I think my favorite way to write out a character is just sending them upstairs and never referencing them again.
I don't know. Let's say Tangle.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going anywhere soon, but what if we decided, okay, we're done with her for now? Give her one last adventure that rounds out the character arc she is on at the moment. And then she says she's going to go home to chill out at Spiral Hill, or she's going to go off and chart her own course, explore the world on her own terms, and maybe we'll meet together one day. And then that's it. I mean, it's kind of the status that Classic Mighty's in right now, as we know he's out there doing his thing. And if there's a modern Mighty, then hey, cool. He's finished his travels and they've linked back again. Awesome. And if not, well, he's out there doing his thing, being cool. Either way works.
Yeah. Put him on a bus, literally. See ya.
He's going on a vacation. It's going to be a good time. It's a good bus.
Yes. It's not the bus going upstate.
But I would, at least hope that you finish off the character's arc, give them some closure, something that feels satisfying. They've ended their journey, and now they go home to retire, or they go on a new adventure somewhere else that you don't necessarily have to reference, or they're going to be in the same place. Everybody's hanging out at Restoration HQ and we just don't go back there because it's functioning just fine. And we have a whole other world to explore. So you go do that. That's fine. That seems to be the mantra for this episode. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And Tango left to become the next best trainer in the new region of Pokemon. Here's one from the Oddly Roger. Sonic Boom and Steeko Man 20XD6 have a Worlds Collide style crossover. How does it go? I want it.
Wow. You have the blue hair. You gotta have the blue hair. We could totally be friends. Hey, Knuckly Man, are you asking for a challenge? Everyone says you're the guy. I want to be the guy too. Who let this no-armed thing in here? Oh, bud, is this yours? Pan and Sticks discussing philosophy out in the jungle.
Oh no!
Wise words.
You're absolutely right. I can't believe it. We're so alike, you and I. Oh man, I want this. I want it, Ian. I want this. Make it happen. You know the brothers chaps, right? Call them up.
I mean, I met them once at a show.
Call in that favor.
They were all sold out of Cheat Commandos. I was so sad.
Oh.
Actually, my brother has a poster signed by them. It was when the Wii game was coming out.
Yeah.
And they had like specialized posters, and just like written on it is, "Hey Seth, high five, strong bad."
Oh man. I know where you gotta steal that at some point. Theft.
I wonder if he still has it. He travels a whole lot. I don't know if he still has it anymore. Maybe it's in storage.
Oh man. All right. Thievius has a question. If the Snow Miser and Heat Miser were to be implemented into Sonic, what species would they both be?
I don't know. Whatever would look coolest.
What would look cool?
I mean, God, it's been a long time since I've seen that. But Snow Miser is like your typical, like, gaunt, hunched fella. Yeah, maybe
think so.
Go
Yeah,
the traditional route. Give him a kind of a buzzard look to keep that kind of hunched, long beaked.
He's also got that. Yeah,
you do like an ice theme with that kind of feather ruff that they have. That might be neat looking. Heat Miser was more of a stout fella with kind of his hair kind of turned upwards.
He's kind of like his hair's like on fire. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Make him a bull, or what's another horned animal that's kind of stout? Well, there we go. I've always wanted to do a muntjac. There you go. Heat Miser's a muntjac.
There you go.
Why not?
There you go. He gets into a fight with his rival Blaze. And Twilord has a question. Sleepy Shadow, the idea of the shadow we have currently being existentially screwed to wake up and be replaced with his Sonic Adventure 2 self, finally wakes up. The older version of Shadow, who doesn't know the current state of the world or his personal life, quickly steals the Chaos Emeralds and spends months guarding the Eclipse Cannon, scanning deep space for the Black Comet. He doesn't know he already accomplished that mission and so much else. What catches him up? Who gets this emotionally raw moment with him? A chat with Amy or Sonic? Evidence from Rouge? A tear-jerking scene with Omega and Harold? Oh, of course, Twilord had to work Harold in here somewhere.
So it's SA2 Shadow, basically, before his epiphanies and everything, right?
I suppose that might be it. Might be what he's getting at, yeah.
Well, in that case, he isn't going to be scanning deep space for the Black Comet. He doesn't know that exists. All he knows is that what Gerald programmed him to do, which was blow up the Earth.
Mm-hmm. When did he learn that? When would he have learned that? Would have been during the events of Shadow, the game?
Yeah, like he doesn't learn his purpose, which was to defeat the Black Arms, until like the very end of his own game, which is post Heroes and Battle.
Aha.
So SA2 Shadow is getting up to the Ark, trying to aim that cannon straight down.
Back at the planet. Well, I mean, this is post-Epiphany, apparently.
Okay, so this is post-Shadow.
I guess so.
Shadow,
I guess so.
Basically, the Shadow we have now, it's the same character.
Okay.
Because he really hasn't changed too much since his own game. That kind of set where he is now, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
So it's the same character.
Maybe he just doesn't know. Like
I'm sorry, Twilight. I'm getting lost in the weeds here, but that's how it is.
He says post Maria's real wish, but clueless about everything. I guess we could just say he's like has amnesia. Who catches him up about what's going on?
If we're talking like past Maria, again, he's not thinking about the Black Comet. All it is he's out to make the people of the world give him a chance to be happy. So he's just kind of tooling around the Ark, being awkward.
What else is new?
Doesn't really have anywhere to go. Doesn't really have anything to do. It's kind of embarrassing, what with grand larceny and framing for crimes and that little thing about trying to blow up the Earth after blowing up half the moon.
Well, who shows up there and gives him the awkward explanation of what the heck happened?
A lot's happened since that, okay? You can come down now. Everybody's forgotten the whole theft and whatnot. So you're saying there's two of me. Well, yeah, and the other one's already done all this stuff. Right. Why do I need to leave? Because you bring up a good point. I mean, you got food and water and air up here, right? Enough. Sufficient for the ultimate life form. All right, buddy, you do you.
Do you want to leave? No.
And do what? All the stuff that you already did down. I see your point. Have fun. Do you want anything? Supplies? A visit every now and again? I've got Hulu. Okay, you're good. Bye.
You're channeling more of that Kirk Shadow voice.
Well, I kind of discovered that it's more or less Starline, so I got to do something to vary it up.
I suppose.
Don't you get lonely every now and again? Omega comes up with my son. We play canasta. What more do you want? Okay, fine.
Perfect. I love the way you said, I have Hulu.
Because really, if you're going to say a streaming service that's funny, Netflix. That's not funny.
That's not funny.
Hulu.
No, Hulu's funny, especially because there's like nothing on it anymore.
Oh yeah, didn't Disney buy it and gut it?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Disney is
Shadow really is behind the times.
Disney's owned like a third of it for a long time, and now it's kind of like. I mean, I guess you could say Peacock, but
Tubi.
Oh.
Or did it change names? To be or not to be? That is the question.
I have Apple TV Plus, Sonic. I'm good. I got Xbox Live. All right. Our last question.
Little known fact, the Ark's orbital controls are by Kinect.
I wonder they don't work. It's all connected. Zach D is here with our final question for this episode. Hey Ian, I remember really enjoying Sonic's 900 Adventure when it came out. I was wondering, was there any effort to bring in the old American Sonic writers like Carl Bollers and Mike Gallagher to write for the issue? Maybe old artists like Stephen Butler and Jeff Axer? Just curious.
I have no idea. I was not part of that process. I was asked to write the intro and outro, kind of just like set the framing device, and that was it. So it was a surprise to me as well.
Huh. I think it would have been interesting to have a throwback to those, but kind of a shame. Maybe next time. Maybe in the 1000th adventure.
It'll be here before you know it.
I know.
That's going to wrap us up for this edition of the BumbleKast. If you want your question answered on the show, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
Wednesday, I went to the gym and I was feeling good and life was all sunshine and rainbows.
Okay,
and
sure.
Then Thursday, I woke up and was like, no. And then Friday was kind of a blur. But better. And now I'm here.
Reaching far across these new frontiers?
Sure, why not?
Or just like barely reaching and looking for something that's, stable and not new to hold on to.
I'll try to bring my A game for the show, but honestly, like, if I am sounding exceptionally grumpy, just like flag me and say, let's do this answer over. And like, okay. I mean it, like watch me on this. If I'm like getting old man cantankerous, get off my lawn, go, Ian, remember.
I thought that's what this whole show was all about.
No. I can be the lovingly irascible uncle. I don't want to be the grandpa that you dread at Thanksgiving.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You guys have so many questions. Why do you have so many questions? Ian, why are there so many questions?
I don't know, but I'm not going to question it.
Nope. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Look at that proper little gentleman.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Tenebrae. He's usually not that well behaved.
Depends on the hour of the day.
Depends on the minute.
I've started feeding them earlier, so they would be less annoying while we record.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that hasn't registered in their little kitty brain, so now they get hungry like 45 minutes before. Like when I fed them at 6, they were fine until like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But now that I do it at 5, at like 4:15, they're like, hey, you know what you forgot to do? It's like, no, not yet. But we're starving and dying. No.
Oh, yeah. You're totally starving, cats. Look at you. All the starving you're doing. You look so famished.